Here we are again in the mountains of Sendai. Over 150 cars have entered the final event in the JDDA drag racing calendar, starting with the rear-wheel drive street tyre class. Almost every car in this class uses Nitto tyres, so big burnouts are essential. C&Y Sports have an unusual entry in this class. This JZX90 Mark II was built for a customer with an 800 horsepower RB26 instead of the original 1JZ. The heavy Mark II body is not exactly ideal for drag racing though. This R32 GTS-T is also using an RB26, again with a T88 turbo. Only the cam covers are RB20 parts. The tyres are street legal, but because they aren't radials it competes in the open class. The flares are a bit of a giveaway. There were a few female entrants in this year's event too, though they still seem to need some tuition. DR30 Skylines is still a very popular drag car, so much so that they have their own class. It seems they all like to hang out together too. The old FJ20 turbo engine responds well to some mild upgrades, but most cars went a lot further than that. The best cars were running low 11s, sometimes even better. Old cars do have their problems, of course, but this RB26 powered 260Z was a consistent performer. The best sounding cars are the old naturally aspirated entries. It's a far cry from the sort of cars running in American all-motor classes. We showed you the Garage Saurus S14 in HPIv8. It uses an S13 engine with a unique twin-turbo setup. The twin TD05s can support 700 horsepower. It didn't win its class on the day though. The quickest Silvia was this grey S15. Later we heard the C&Y car with a death rattle in the engine. Sure enough, they were soon picking up the pieces. Unfortunately, the entire length of track was also covered in oil. Amazingly, the event managers asked everyone in the pits to come and help clean up the mess with brake cleaner and rags. That's something you could only ever see in Japan. The Takagi Silvia has run as fast as 9.8 seconds at Central Circuit, but it hasn't run a 9 yet at Sendai. The RB26 runs a pair of RPEX RX6 turbos and makes nearly 1,000 horsepower, which is pretty hard to get to the ground through only 2 Nitto tyres. The computer is still being tuned to suit the high altitude of this track. Still just short, but much better than the Porsche, which fried its clutch. This Z32 has been running at Sendai for a couple of years now, with a naturally aspirated VG30 engine and 6-port nitrous system. Not bad for an Atmo engine. Here's another rear-wheel drive entry from Takagi. Not quite as extreme as the S13. soon it was time for the GTRs to join the party. The GTR class was huge as usual, though relatively few cars were running 9s or better at this meeting. New entrants like this R34 outnumbered the more famous cars. Garage Saurus had some of the toughest entries, like this R32. C&Y couldn't dwell on their misfortune with the Mark II as they were busy with their AE85. The car has moved into the open class with Mickey Thompson tyres, and the new Truss T88H 38GK turbo has been fitted to boost power to around 1,000 horsepower. Jin & Son hasn't lost his passion for long burnouts. Even with the new tyres, it's a pretty violent ride. A 9.7 matched the car's PV, but then they turn up the boost for another run. Now he's in the same league as sponsored entries, like this Blitz RX-7. GTR times kept falling until Garage Saurus brought out their best car. The rear-wheel drive open class cars mostly run similar times to the street tyre GTRs. Of course, there are exceptions. Kojima's 260Z was now running an OS Geekin 3-litre engine. It makes the alcohol-fueled Camaro look pretty pointless. Duke are making progress with their new R33, which is getting deeper into the 8s. Their rear-wheel drive R33 has gone from green to white, but the times are about the same. A new entrant in this class is the RE Master Cosmo, which had plenty of power but some serious issues with traction.
R30 クラスの2回戦を行います。R30
If you think this guy's having a bad day, wait until you see the Carmen gear. Thanks to a parachute failure, he went straight through the tyre wall at the end of the track. The driver got out unhurt, and the engine is mounted in the back, so it should be okay too.